In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use a custom report in Google Analytics to spot issues on different browsers and devices. This can be incredibly helpful for spotting issues that might be losing you conversions or just for general troubleshooting on your website. If we can see a trend of people leaving on desktop versus mobile or on certain browsers, it may indicate something that can be fixed to prevent those conversion leakages. To access your Google Analytics account, you want to come to analytics.google.com and log in with the Google account you used to set it up. If you don't already have an account, I'll put a video below that walks you through how to set this up on your Squarespace website. I'm Cara Wolf, Squarespace SEO expert and website designer and owner of Websites by Cara. Let's go ahead and jump in. I have Google Analytics pulled up for my own website. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to Reports. And we're going to scroll down to Engagement. And we're going to click Pages and Screens. And this is going to pull up a default report for us. And we're going to go ahead and make some changes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it from 28 days to the last 90. In general, the more information we have, the better view we get. More data, the more accurate it is for analyzing what is or isn't working over a period of time. This is particularly important for sites that have less traffic. If you have less traffic, I recommend zooming out and looking at more data like 90 days instead of 30. If you have a ton of traffic on your site or a recent issue, you might want to stick with just the last 28 days to see what's going on. You can also come in here and click a comparison. So if you've had a recent problem, once we get this report set up, you could come back here and compare data from this period to the last period and see if there's an issue. For now, I'm going to go ahead and set up the report, and I'll show you that at the end. So I'm going to click this edit button. This is to customize the report. And the first thing I want to do is add bounce rate. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom and click start searching for bounce. I'm going to add bounce rate, and I'm going to go ahead and move this up to the top. This is something that I want to see. It's very important for this particular report. All right, so now we have all of these pages and we have the bounce rate. And the bounce rate is when someone comes on your website and immediately leaves. And granted, some of this could be bot traffic and things like that, but again, we're just looking for an overall trend. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add the type of browser. So I'm going to come over here and add a secondary filter. So I'm going to click this plus sign and start typing in browser, and we're going to add the browser. So now we can sort by pages. We have the pages and the browser that people are using and the bounce rate. Now, this is a lot of data, so in order to make this worthwhile, what I would recommend is hone down on particular pages that matter to your conversion. So for example, like a service page. So for example, I have a service page for my Squarespace services. If I can spell it right. So I have a service page to sell my Squarespace website design services, and I know that this is included in the URL. So you can type in something related to a URL. So this is my service page. And now it's a pretty limited view. Now this makes sense. I can see all of the people that come to this service page and the device they're using. So if there's a really high bounce rate, like for example, this one down here, it doesn't necessarily mean that something's wrong, but if you are experiencing a problem or all of a sudden have a drop in engagement and conversions, these are the sorts of things that we can kind of gather some data. So for example, there's a little bit higher bounce rate on Chrome versus these other browsers. Again, this compatible agent down here, I mean, there's just one view in the last 3 months, so I'm not worried about that. But I may double check my website on Chrome versus Safari. It's got a slightly higher bounce rate. I don't think that actually is indicating an issue on my site, but this is how we start to track down some different issues. You can also click the arrow key and sort by the highest bounce rate to the lowest, so you can kind of see like almost a chronological version of that. Now, the other thing I like to do is take these service pages and I like to sort by the device category, which is mobile versus desktop. So I'm going to change this to device category. And now I can see the bounce rate of desktop versus mobile. And again, I have a little bit higher bounce rate on desktop versus mobile. This is actually probably a good thing because it's indicating that my mobile design must be pretty spot on for a bounce rate of only 27%. 50 is not bad. Really, for bounce rate, we kind of industry standard, at least my understanding of it is you aim for around 50%. And, it's not really an issue if unless you're getting into the 80s, 90s, 100, higher like that. So I'm not worried about this. This isn't necessarily indicating an issue. But for example, if I did this test and maybe my desktop was 50 and my mobile was, 90% bounce rate, it may indicate an issue with my mobile design. So now I'm just going to do what I promised at the end of this. We're going to go back to browser. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a comparison so you can see what this looks like. And actually, now that I have this secondary category set, it's not letting me do a comparison, which is fine. We don't really need that for the past 30 days, but we could come up here and we could just get rid of this. It looks like it looks like you need to change the date before you start adding in extra customization. So in the future, when you are doing these reports, think ahead of time of what is this report that you want to start customizing. So before you start customizing the report, think, do you want 90 days? Do you want 30 days? Do you want a comparison chart? Set your days first, and then you can come back in here and do your extra categories. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back in. Okay, so let's say we decided in advance that we wanted 90 days. We did not want a comparison chart. We went in, we've added in these secondary categories. We added in the bounce rate, made these customizations. Okay, now what? Well, you don't want to have to do these manual adjustments every single time. So what I recommend is hitting the save button. And I already have this report saved, so I'm not going to hit save. But if I were to hit save, it would ask me to name it. And then I'm going to go ahead and discard this one. Once it's been saved and it's been named, the way you access your saved reports is you come back into reports. I'm actually already here. We come to library, which is at the very bottom of this reports screen right here. And all of your saved reports are going to be in here. So you can see I've previously done the bounce rate and browser type report. Now, in another video, I'll show you how to set up these collections, but if you click on new collection and create your own collection, you can actually save these different reports to your own collection. So you can see here I've got some saved reports that I've put into a personalized collection, and I just added the bounce rate and browser type. But even if you don't create a personalized collection, you can always come down to this library tab and click on any previous reports that you've saved. And that's it for this. If this video was helpful, feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and look in the description below for links to all the good stuff.